right, it's day 3. Still going to the gym today. Normally Wednesday would be my day off from the gym, but I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, so we're going to the gym today and we'll take off tomorrow for the dentist. Today I was thinking I could talk about advice that I would give myself when I was younger. Probably about the ages of 14 to 18. Pre-high school to high school age. If I was able to send a letter back in time, or this video back in time to them, this is kind of what I would say. So, this videos might not be useful if you're older than that, but maybe it will be interesting. I'm not sure. If I was 14 again, I would really think about what I would want to do with my life. It's hard to figure out for sure. I actually had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do. And the problem isn't that I knew what I wanted to do, it was actually doing stuff that is related to what I wanted to do. Really think about, if you know what you want to do, start working on it now. Don't wait until you're like, oh yeah, in college I'm going to do this, because it might not turn out that you do that, which is the case for me. So kind of think about that. If you don't know what to do, you don't know what you want to do, you should start doing stuff. Start learning as much as you can. Waiting for this traffic. Learn whatever you can, and even if you're not interested in stuff, just, learn the basics. Learn a little bit about everything. Just spend some free time every week learning stuff. A big problem I had when I was around that age too is that I was totally addicted to playing video games, because that's what I had access to. Video games were fun, and I didn't really do any sports. So if I was that age again, I would do sports. I would get into, even if I didn't do any team sports or anything, I would do like track and field and cross country. Although I should get into team sports, learning to work on a team and improving your leadership and just increasing, social exposure. These things I didn't want to do, but looking back on it, it would have been good for me to do. So, I wish I did sports. I was kind of a nerdy kid growing up, so I didn't really identify with someone who did sports. I thought they were kind of dumb, and yet here I am going to the gym, decade or more later. So, go do sports. Get in shape when you're young. It makes it a lot easier. And I wasn't in bad shape, but I definitely, could have done better. I was lucky that I was a skinny kid, I guess, so it wasn't too bad. But do sports. And, school is interesting. Do you really need to do well in school to do well in life? No, you don't. But it does make certain things easier. And if you do well, it keeps as many doors open as possible. I did fairly well in school, but I could have done better. I was like a 3.5 student instead of like a 4.0 student. Mostly because I was just bored out of my mind at school. And all I wanted to do was go home and play video games. But we'll get back to the video game thing. I know I'm kind of rambling. School, try your best in school. Everyone's gonna, you're gonna do things differently. So, I'm talking to myself, but this is to other people too. But do better in school. Learn how to study. I never learned how to study because I just used my raw brain power to do everything. And that kind of let me coast a lot. And I didn't learn a lot of good lessons that I should have learned by, actually trying. And, sometimes it's hard, but you have to do hard things. You have to challenge yourself. You can't just, make everything easy. Everything being easy is not virtuous. I used to think that it was great that I could, just do things easily. But it's not. It's not very rewarding. As you get older, you kind of want more challenge. You don't want it to be too challenging, and you don't want the world against you. But you also wouldn't want everything to be too easy either. You want a nice balance. And you can kind of control how much challenge you can take on too. So it's not like you're forever, not doing too challenging of stuff. You just have to, master the basics first, and then you can become an advanced student of life. But learn how to study. Sit down, and even if you, I still don't really know how to study, but I haven't been in school for a while, so, but, sit down and figure out what works best for you. Try to actually learn things. Like, it doesn't actually really matter what grade you get. It matters more, did you learn anything from it? And when you don't get the grade you want, like, look at your mistakes and learn from them. Don't just be like, this sucks. Actually try to understand what you did wrong. But actually try to learn the material instead of just memorizing things and regurgitating it, because you will forget everything that you memorize. I can tell you right now, I've forgotten everything because I didn't really learn it. There's a handful of things I do know because I actually learned them, but most things, no idea. This is why it's not really that important to be good at school, to be successful. It just helps, I think. I think it teaches you some good lessons if you actually try at school. Like, it's the first challenge that you have access to in life. You can't really do much when you're young, especially like pre 16. There's not really much you can do. You can't get a job or anything like that, so you might as well try at it, and it will teach you how to do better at other stuff. And yeah, it's probably going to be boring, really boring. You have to find ways of making it more exciting. You have to challenge yourself, like actually try to learn. That's what makes it more exciting, is actually sitting there being like, what can I learn from this? Like, just asking that question, what can I learn from this? Oh, this is interesting. Finding the interesting things and diving into them, even if it has nothing to do with like your assignment or anything. Find the things that you're interested in and learn about those. Go online, learn about them. And video games, back to that. We're almost to the gym and I want to cover more stuff. Video games are fun, but you gotta learn to not play them as much, and you gotta learn to do other things. Like, you were obsessed with video games. I played so many video games. That's all I wanted to do. But there's so much valuable time I had when I was young that I could have spent doing other things. And if anyone's watching this and you want to know how to quit video games or quit any addiction, anything, it's really actually simple. Assuming that you're not doing something that has withdrawal symptoms. Like, video games do not have a withdrawal. Nothing happens when you stop playing video games. You just have to stop doing it. That's really, if you think about it, that's the only option. There is no magical option. You just have to stop doing them. Now, if it's really bad, you should probably just quit them completely. It doesn't mean you can't come back to them, but you should just quit them completely until you can do what you want to do. You shouldn't try to like ration it off, because most times that stuff doesn't work, because you'll end up just playing longer, or whatever it is that you do, you'll end up doing longer. But if you want an easier way of working on this rather than just quitting cold turkey, you should just aim to play less than you do. And that would be progress. So if you play every single day, take one day off. And you can still play 6 days, which is pretty good. Just take one day off to spend time like reading and learning, maybe improving your study habits. Just take a day off. You don't need to play every day. And maybe once you do that for a couple months, take 2 days off. And these don't have to be the weekend. You can take off. You probably should take one weekend day off, but then leave the other weekend day to do whatever you want. And then take like a Friday off or something, or a Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday, whatever. Just take one of those days off and spend that time learning or reading. It's not going to be that bad. And I know that brings up like your friends. You want to hang out with your friends and play, especially when you're older. You have these friends, they just play video games every day too. You're not friends with them anymore. And you're friends with some people, depending on where we are in the timeline. But there are some people that you played a lot of games with, you no longer talk to. Not because they're bad people or anything, just they played video games and you stopped playing as much. And I mean, there's some other factors, but yeah, when it comes to your friends, really think about, is this somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with? Are they a good influence on me? It may be hard to figure out, but like if you're like, will this person make me more successful in life? And success isn't everything, but think about this. Will this person make me more successful? Will this person make me more happy? Is this person actually interesting? Or do I only hang out with them because they play video games? What is this person's purpose in life? What are they driving towards? Or, what kind of influence are they going to be? What kind of person is this going to grow into? It's like, think about yourself and like the person you want to be. Are these people going to be better? Are these people going to be with you for the rest of your life? Now, sometimes you do have friends that are just your friends because they're very trustworthy. I think that's okay too. They don't have to be these awesome people if you can trust them, because sometimes you just need someone that can help you. Sometimes, someone you can tell things about, someone who can help you move a couch. You need friends like that sometimes. So, don't just cut off everyone, but really think about who you want to be friends with. And if there are people you want to be friends with that you're not friends with, just talk to them. What's the worst that can happen? They're not your friend. They weren't your friend anyways. Like, you lose nothing. You lose zero. It's the same thing with girls, although you should probably spend less time thinking about girls because they're just a distraction, at least in high school. There were some good relationships, but you spend way too much time thinking about it and having your heart broken. It's fine. And also, if you're going to anyways, just approach girls you like and ask them if they want to like get lunch or something or hang out. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. You're already in the same position. There's no downside. But you should probably just spend more time doing other stuff, sports, learning, reading. I probably still wouldn't make the same decisions, but that's probably what's best. Oh, and when you turn 16, get your driver's license. we don't get our driver's license until like 25. And honestly, that kind of sucks because there's so much you could have done in like the past decade with a driver's license. Like, you can just go places. And yeah, of course, you couldn't afford a car at the time, so that's why you didn't really care. But you can get a job. Get a job at like 16 during the summer and save up your money. Get a POS car, you know, a couple $1,000s, just so you have a car. And learn everything you can about cars too. Like, once you have one, you don't really have to learn anything beforehand. But you know, cars probably will change in the future. You know, I'm driving a hybrid, so it's not exact. You know, there's probably lots of things I can't even do with this car. I mean, I can't even change out the battery because that's too dangerous. But which is a normal thing on a normal car you can just do. But yeah, just learn about cars. Get a car. Get a cheap car. You can get a summer job, work 20 hours a week, get some pocket money, and save up for your car. But learn how to drive, because you know, there's gonna be times where you can like take a weekend off and just go somewhere. You know, that's pretty cool. You can drive to other states. There's so much stuff you can do, so much you can explore when you're young and you have way too much time. Also, just save you a lot of time, you know, going to college and taking you places. You don't have to rely on other people, you know. And it is expensive to own a car, though. I will say that. And it's kind of ridiculous. So you may still not get a car. At least get your driver's license, because it, you know, it makes it a lot easier. You'll eventually be able to buy a car. But you know, I'm at the gym now. Maybe I'll think about, you know, adding a part 2 onto this. But yeah. All right, I'm back from the gym. This will be part 2 of my advice to my 14 to 18-year-old self. And something I thought of while I was at the gym, funny enough, which makes sense, is that start working on yourself, like physically. Like, I know I talked about doing sports. You should at least, you know, do some push-ups every day or something, and start take weightlifting class. Like, I know you're skinny and small and you think you'll be made fun of, but you probably won't be honest. You'll probably make some friends and you'll get a lot stronger and you'll learn a lot. You know, you're already going to be lifting weights, you know, a decade later. So start lifting young, and at the very least do some like push-ups and some squats and stuff. Like, try to do like 100. Do some pull-ups. I think we get a pull-up bar at some point. Like, try to do 100 pull-ups. This is something you could do every day. You can just crush out 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 pull-ups. So just do that. So yeah, so start working out. Like, it's just gonna help you later on. And if you never feel like it, at least do like I said, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, whatever. And then start thinking about, my hair's all messed up, thinking about your financials. Like, I know you're young, you probably have no money. You do start working a job later. But, I don't know, get a job at like 16, work over the summer. Don't play video games all summer. Like, 2 days for video games is enough. Like, that would be amazing. Now, you know, like, yeah, start start making some money. You know, I talked about buying a car. That's a good idea, although it's very expensive. You have to pay for insurance and whatnot. But maybe you get on our parents' insurance. But regardless, just make some money, even if you're not able to buy a car in the first year. You know, second year, just save up that money. Don't really buy anything with it. Learn how to invest. You take a personal finance class, so you learn this pretty early. But, you know, get a savings account. At least keep the money in there. Put a little bit towards investing just to learn. You don't have to be going crazy on it, though. That's not how you're going to become rich. Just learn how to do it. Put some money in like the S&P 500 and let it sit. It will grow. Trust me, it will grow. Don't take it out. You actually probably would make quite a bit of money if you just keep putting money into it, to be honest, by now. But just put a little bit in, like a little bit of your paycheck in every time or something, or some every month. Because at least it's money that's growing when you're at school, which is nice. I don't know if you should keep working during school. You should probably focus on that. But maybe you have a day, maybe you work a day. I don't know what is available, you know. So, you know, you can work at a grocery store, which won't be fun, but hey, you'll learn that you don't want to do it, but at least do it for a couple years. You know, you'll get a lot of experience if you just start at 16 and just keep going at it. Yeah, it's something, and your money will grow. So, like, focus on that. I'd have to make a completely, like, another video on, like, personal finances and, like, what I know to really dive deep into this. So, but that's the basics, you know. You work during summer break. Put your money into a savings account at the very least. And maybe learn how to invest. You know, but mostly work on saving. Save for a vehicle. And just get the cheapest thing possible. You know. You don't need something, especially if you learn more about cars, you don't need something super fancy. You just need something to get you from place A to place B. I mean, I think you should still get your license. If you don't want to buy a car, you know, you can get, like, I don't know if electric bikes are really a thing back then. They are now. That would work. But I think you should have a car. It sucks, but, you know, it's really how you get around in America is with a car. But I think the experiences you can have with it would be really good. And hopefully, if you just buy a POS car, the insurance wouldn't be as high on it. You know, because if you only spend a couple $1,000s, you know, you're not really replacing much. It's mostly just don't get in an accident. And driving is really easy, by the way. I know that you don't get a license until much later, and there's a bunch of people in our generation that don't know how to drive. You'll meet a ton of people that don't know how to drive, and it's actually mind-blowing. It's actually mind-blowing. You thought you were just being lazy. It just turns out most people don't learn how to drive for some reason that are, you know, of our age. Weird. Especially even younger. So, but driving is easy. Dad was right. It's just like a video game. It's pretty easy. Like, I can effortlessly do this. And I haven't been driving that long. You know, in the grand scheme of things. Now, obviously, if you started at 16 or 15 and a half or whatever, by now, you'd be an expert. It doesn't take that long to learn. You just have to focus on not being anxious about it. Just focus on, do some breathing exercises. Maybe learn some of that. And just realize that it's probably all going to be fine. Just focus on what you can control. It's okay if you're not good at it. You'll get better. The driving instructors are not going to let you get yourself into too much trouble. So you'll make some mistakes. Just chalk it up to your learning. Don't feel like you're like, I feel stupid. You might feel stupid, but that's okay. You don't have to know everything. Just stop having such a big ego. You don't need to know everything. You'll learn everything. So, it's way more fun to learn than it is to know everything. So, yeah, we're just about at work, so that's going to conclude it. Maybe, tomorrow I got to go to the dentist, but maybe tomorrow I'll talk about, early 20s, early adulthood, 18 onward, and what to do there. Maybe at some point make a financial video. It's like when you hit 18, you should probably look into a credit card, like a secured credit card. That'll be my last thing of advice. Don't apply for like a normal credit card because you probably won't get one. Just get like a secured credit card. You put $200 on it, and that's basically like your limit. You'll build your credit, and you should start at 18. You start at 18-ish technically because of student loans, but just get a credit card at 18. You don't even have to really, like, you don't use it as a credit card. You just pay it off with money. Like, it's fine. You can put like $5 on Amazon and then automatically pay it off every month. Like, that's all you have to do. You don't ever even have to use it. You can just set it up automatically. At least do that at the bare minimum, especially if you don't have a huge amount of cash anyways. So yeah, well, I'm going to stitch these two together and upload it. So let's go out and improve ourselves and have a good day.